Ooh. I teach basics of piloting a spacecraft. Okay. Flying a spacecraft is all about being in control of a generally very chaotic situation. As a pilot, your main flight controls will affect the pitch, roll, and yaw of the ship. Let's look at those first. Okay, pitch is WNS. I see. Yaw is left and right. Okay. Roll is Q and E. Okay, another basic flight control. Throttle control is left shift and left control. Okay, so it's all in this sort of area. Okay, so the engines can overheat and explode if you go too fast. Up and down. Throttle plus pitch roll and you are the main controls you need to master for a successful crash-free flight. Okay, so look at the rest of it. SAS, Stability Augmentation System, Sickness Avoidance Scheme. So it stops the ship from spinning around. Okay. It needs to be fitted with an SAS or ASAS module, otherwise it won't do anything. Commit by... Okay, so you can toggle it on with T, or if you want it just for a little bit, you press F. Okay. RCS Reaction Control System. Okay, and that's by pressing R. It has to have RCS thrusters. So when you're out in space, you can control little bits and sort of move yourself around by the looks of it. All the planning you put into the stage sequence of your ship comes into practice. From launch to the final deployment of the descent parachutes, you can control the activation of several of the ship's parts by activating stages. Space launch activated next stage. Okay. The ship's attitude, as it's called, and its velocity vector. The big round instrument on the lower center of the screen is called the nav ball. This device sums up most of the critical information needed for proper death-free flight. Here you see the ship's nose in relation to the horizon, as well as its heading, compass bearing, and speed. You also get several icons that indicate things that look like your current velocity, but we'll have a look at those later. On the upper part of the screen, you have your altimeter, vertical speed, and atmosphere gauges. The altimeter will show the distance to the planet's surface at sea level. Okay. This means the actual surface may be higher up, so watch for the ground when landing. Your vertical speed gauge shows how fast your altitude is changing. When launching, it's considered best to keep this gauge pointing up. Okay. The atmosphere gauge indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps you know if the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed to air resistance, or judge how effective wings and control services will be. These guys on the lower right are the crew of the ship. It's a good idea to keep them alive. Okay, awesome. Set throttle to max. Wee! We are going. Look at that. So the spacebar splits it apart. For some reason, it hasn't actually split it apart. But whatever. We're going back down now. So. Oh, look at that. That was beautiful. Whoa. This parachute isn't doing a very good job of slowing me down. Oh, it's going to explode. Ready? This parachute isn't doing a very good job of slowing me down. Ah, there we go. Oh, nearly right on the launch pad. Nearly exploded it. But yeah, this is the little Kerbal base. That's the space plane hangar over there, which I'm going to be headed in a bit because I want to try and make a space plane. But I've never actually got one to work. I don't know how you're meant to make them lift up. And then this is the launch pad and whatever. So yeah, now we have a nice slow little ride down till we come safely to a halt. So yeah. Ooh. Whoa. That looks weird and freaky. Oh, oh, and we're gonna make it! Yeah! Oh, he's so happy. Look at Bill. Oh wait, what? You can go into like proper view? Oh, that's cool. How do I get out? How do I get out? How do I get out? Okay, well that changes between the three of them. Oh, okay. It's finished, hasn't it? A success. Okay, I don't like that view because I don't know how to get out of it. Quit to main menu. So that was 2 complete. Now, let's see, what else we got? We have orbiting 101. Flying a spacecraft in orbit. Octopus and Periapsis. Okay, I don't know what that is. Yeah. Also, important concepts such as the terms Octopus and Periapis mean. Okay. Okay. Welcome to Orbiting 101 training program. I'm Gene Kerman and I'm going to teach you the basics of orbiting. I assume you've already done the basic flight control tutorials and are now ready to learn how to get around in space. If you haven't done them, well, I hope you know what you're doing. Let's get started. Orbiting is really nothing more than free falling. The only thing is that as you fall, you're moving so fast forward you actually miss the ground. Because up here there's no atmosphere to slow you down, you'll continue to free fall endlessly around the planet without having to use your engines. We are currently on a low, almost circular orbit around Kerbal. To get a better view of your situation, press the M key to go into the map view. This is the map view. Here you can see your ship's position and its current trajectory around the planet. Use the mouse to look around to see your orbit from various angles. Also, hovering over the icons on the map will display more information about them. Periapis. Opiopius. Okay, good. Let's get practical now. I trust you already know your basic spacecraft controls. Up here, they're very much the same, only the lack of atmosphere can make the ship behave quite a bit differently, because there is no drag slowing you down. For every input you apply, you'll have to apply an opposite one to come to a stop again. I'm going to remotely nudge your attitude controls a little, try to get the ship back under control afterwards. If you find yourself totally out of control, hit T to toggle the SAS on. Okay, whoa. Uh-oh. Whoa, whoa. Okay, so, and then... Wait, I'm not even sure if I'm pushing that the right way. Stop spinning. Wait, what? No, why am I spinning up faster? No. Whoa, 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 whoa. So that speeds up. And this way doesn't slow down. What? Okay. Huh, made it at last. I'm going to try again because it's difficult. I want to try and... Okay, so up is taking it down. This way is taking it down as well. Okay, and now it's just spinning. Yeah, that was better. Oh god, the nav board. You've probably seen the symbols on it when you're spinning around. Here's what they mean. That thing, prograde vector, points towards your velocity vector. That is, it points to where you are going. Retrograde vector, it points directly away from your velocity. Prograde waypoint vector, it points towards your current waypoint. Retrograde waypoint vector, it points directly away from your current waypoint. Okay, let's try something a little more involved. Open the map again. What we want to do now is go for some of the basic maneuvers you'll need to know first. Let's try raising your apoios first. The apoios, probably wrong, is the highest point in an orbit, and is indicated by the node marked up. That one right there. The best place to raise your apoios is the Periapus node, which is the lowest point to your orbit. If you hover the mouse over Pyrus nodes, you'll see it will reach the node in a few minutes. Once there, we will face prograde and burn. Press period to speed up time a little. Okay, time is now passing 5 times faster than normal. We should be there in a few moments. You can control time over the period and comma keys, full stop, and comma keys, or click the arrows on the panel in the top left of the screen. This time I'll put a spec to normal time just before we reach Periapus. After training though, you'll have to warp time down to 1 times yourself, so don't miss the mark. Okay, we're a few seconds away from the Periapus now. Time to prograde and do our burn. However, instead of closing the map, let's just bring up the nav ball here so we can see what's happening to our orbit as we accelerate. To bring up the nav ball on the map, click the little tab on the bottom center of the screen or press the numpad period key. That doesn't work. Whoa, that key's like really stiff. Okay, that didn't work. Let's just push the tab at the bottom of the screen. What the? Oh man. My numpad keys are so stiff. Oh, I zoomed. Turn SAS on if you need help maintaining stability. Done. Make sure the ship is pointing towards it before... Okay, wait. So I need to turn this off. And then find... this. Not that one. The other one. This. Okay. Go ahead and throttle up now. Okay, so I see. It's because when you're closest, you're going straight, you're going like further away when you're there. I get it, so it expands it all. So that reaches about 800,000 meters. Well done! This is how you raid your Octopus node. With orbital maneuvers, pretty much everything you will do will affect the opposite side of your orbit. So to raise the highest point, Octopus, you thrust forward or prograde at the lowest point, Periapiapus. Similarly, to raise your Periapiapus, you thrust prograde at Octopus. We're on our way to the Octopus now, so let's do that. Press next to and ready. I'll warp time to get us there quickly. Okay, we're on our way to the Octopus node now. Notice how your ship loses speed as we rise. So down here. That's because we're climbing away from the planet. So we just lose speed as we go higher. Just as you would if you were climbing a hill back here on Kerbal. The higher you are, the slower your orbit will be. Notice how the Mun's orbital speed is around 540 meters per second, while yours is far higher. When we reach the Octopus, we will burn prograde again to raise the node and circularize our orbit. Cool. Yep. Okay. Turn, prograde, and fire. So I've got to find... oh wait. I have to find prograde first. Which is just right around here. Eccentricity meaning how odd it is. I get it, it's cool, until it's as circular as possible. Awesome! I like this, this is a good tutorial. I'm actually going to know what I have to do. Now, look at this. Keep going. Oh, I hadn't stopped yet. There. This is how you change the size of your orbit. This maneuver should come in handy in many situations. Next, we'll look into changing your orbital inclination. Press next when ready to proceed. Your orbital inclination is the angle your orbit makes to the Kerbin's equator. If you manage to maintain a reasonable amount of control this far, we should still be in a nearly 0-degree inclination orbit. That is, even though we've changed the altitude of our orbit. It still has the same inclination as before. So we're going round. This is the Earth. We are going round like this instead of like this, I think is what it's saying. Changing inclination is done by thrusting a 90-degree angle to a prograde vector, but without changing our pitch relative to the surface. On our present nearly equilateral orbit, prograde is due east. That means to increase our inclination, so the orbiter takes us to higher latitudes, we have to burn towards the north. Let's try that now. Turn the ship to heading 360 and open the throttle. Okay. Oh, went past it. I see. So 90 degrees. Like that. Stop. Up. Up. Oh. There. Open the throttle. Until the inclination is about 10. Okay. So now we are rotating around. Rotating around. See? There you go, that's probably an easier way of looking at it. So you see the angle is changing. Good, this is how you change your orbital inclination. For these maneuvers, it's always better to do this in the slowest parts of the orbit, so you don't have to spend as much delta V to turn your orbit around. That also means inclination changes on larger orbits, such as we are on now, take less fuel than the same inclination change on the lower one. Also keep in mind that changing inclination doesn't necessarily mean accelerating to the north or south. It means accelerating on 90-degree headings to a prograde vector, which on our nearly equilateral orbit also happen to be towards the north. Next, let's look into the last essential maneuver you'll need to learn, lowering your orbit. As you can imagine, lowering your orbit's altitude is very much like raising it, only in reverse. Because there's no air up here, we can use our main engines to decelerate as well as accelerate, because nothing says we have to be facing some direction or another. Also, since our orbit is nearly circular, we can just turn retrograde and do our burn at any time. So now let's get to it. Turn towards the retrograde vector and start those engines up again. So that one there. Let's turn SAS off. Off. Oh, whoops. Off. Where are we going? We're going there. Whoa. Looking at the nav ball is a much easier way of, okay. So as you see, it goes down now. So it's around 30,000 meters. That's tiny. Oh look, we went halfway around again. So now we're facing like backwards, so it slows us down. That's it, you're now on your way back. 30,000 meters is low enough to be in the atmosphere, so you're now on a re-entry course to Kerbal. Once we're below 60,000 meters, the atmosphere will start slowing the ship down so that it won't have enough velocity to rise back up again. Okay. This is the end of our lesson now. You can continue doing maneuvers on your own or wait for Priapus and do a re-entry and land. Don't forget to decouple the capsule and deploy the parachutes. See you on the ground. I'm going to try this, so I'm going to speed up time a bit until we get round to this low area here. Whoa. Okay, that was a little fast. And then it said we should start heading. Here we go. So now you can see we're dropping. So if we want to slow down even more, we just have to do this. So this will bring us in at a different... Whoa, 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 whoa. brings us in at a different point. As you can see, we're now entering the atmosphere, starting to burn up. And we get to about 10,000 meters. I'm thinking, okay, maybe not 10,000, maybe a little less. Let's say 5,000 meters, and then I'm gonna decouple and then apply the parachute. And hopefully, successful landing incoming. Maybe. 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 Oh. Oh. I'm not sure quite where that exploded. It's all gone now. Look at that. Successful landing. I'm so good at this game. Oh. Yay! Now I have to make my own ship and try and get it in orbit and back again. And then there's also the Mon. Oh, parachute just disappeared. Nice. Yeah, I did it!